I'm having this awesome chance to review one of my favorite games, my favorite series, that is the Street Fighter. And we have like the most anticipated fighting games this year. So this is the Street Fighter. So Capcom launched Street Fighter 5 after like its previous release in July 2008, which was Street Fighter 4. And in between we got Atlas Ultra Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter X Taken. And we also got some hope that we will getting Taken X Street Fighter. So anyways, I enjoyed all three games and I have blast playing these games on local and online modes. Now Street Fighter 5 will launch on 16th of Feb on PC and PS4, and it will do so without a number of features that you expecting from a full price fighting game, and the players have to wait for like a month for the full features. Let's just bounce to the point and let me tell you that what are you getting on the launch day to decide whether you want to buy the game or not, because it will be the major factor deciding that. First of all is the character story mode. This mode familiarizes you with the player background stories of the characters available and the personality of the character in the games, which will get expanded later this month in the big story mode, the cinematic story mode, in June 2016. I'm sorry, not later this month, in June 2016. As I launched the story mode, you are given a background story in the watercolor art style, which feels fresh and gives a hint of what is happening, followed by a fight with each character. We have like 4 to 5 fights on an average for each character. You can change the costume color, and you can't buy a costume right now because the shop section is closed. And you can get costume plus lobby support for 8 players later this month. And next we have the versus mode. This is the normal local play mode, which is my favorite. You can play this one with your friends and make a Street Fighter a complete party game. For as you can have friends over and settle your dispute with this game. It's old school mode, which is always appreciated. Next we have this training mode. Uh, you can improve your game here with the classic training mode, which Capcom always provide, and this time they have improved the training mode little bit more with the standard input key display and the damage display. They have the combo count, damage scaling, and the damage level information, which is like neatly put on the sides and can be fiddled in the basic settings option. Then in the dummy settings we have the status, state, guard, recovery, counter and stun options, which can be fiddled around with the training viewpoint. Then the third setting allows us to change the gauge setting, which has health gauge, critical gauge, V gauge and timer for the same. Also, this new feature is the shortcut setting, which is explained in the game mode trailer with the PS4 controller in the trailer video, which can be seen in on YouTube. Next is the survival mode. This is the skill test you can go for, and this mode pushes you further into the heat of the battle and makes you fight without taking much damage. As each battle ends, you are provided with the battle supplement, which offers the various upgrades for the next battle, like health recovery, critical gauge up, attack power up, stun damage supplements, etc. You can skip this and save your points for the next battle as you progress, as because the as you progress through the survival mode, the battle becomes more difficult. The CPU starts dominating the fights. uh, this mode has 4 difficulty settings for both rookie and seasoned players. For the multiplayer, we have this online matches or Capcom Fighting Network, where you can search for the rivals for the fighter with their fighter ID or Steam ID and play a ranked match or a casual match with them. A rank match is to move up in the leaderboards, while the casual is for the fun gameplay, which will not affect your league points. At this point, they are still working on this, and as I have already told you that in the March they will be giving you a 8 players lobby, and right now you are disconnected for no reasons on the online network, and I think it will be get fixed at the launch day. uh, Now we should talk about the game interface. When you start the game, you will be greeted by this awesome Street Fighter logo, and then you will be taken for a quick story and tutorial which introduces you with the new gameplay mechanics. As Capcom wants more and more people to play Street Fighter, they want new players to come in. They are doing this nips and bits for the new players, which is neat and helpful for others. And for the seasoned players, you can always skip this option. Then you come to this neatly arranged menu interface with this world map on the background, which we have been seeing from like the first Street Fighters only, from the first Street Fighters, and these tile bars, and one picture tile bar which explains which gives a brief introduction about what you are doing. For the PC players, the graphic option offers a picture quality, resolution, scaling, anti-aliasing, post-processing, shadow texture and effects. I'm personally using GTX 960 4G OC edition by MSI and 4460 i5 with 8 GB of RAM, and it runs flawlessly in the max settings. One very useful feature is the battle settings option, which is nice as you can quickly change stuff like controller settings and profile color, and look at the command list and change your favorite fighter and stage. You can also change fight request setting from the menu by pressing a single button, and also access your fighter profile from there. The most important thing about the fighting game is the fighting mechanics. So this six button fighting game is refreshed this time by some cool new features. We have this V gauge, and which is totally different from the X gauge. You can use this V gauge to perform V trigger, V skill, and reversal on your opponent. V gauge can be filled by taking blows from your opponent or by performing a V skill on your opponent. When the V gauge fully fills up, it can be triggered by pressing a high kick and a high punch button together, and depending upon the character, it gives a special attack, a teleport, or a power up. And this can be used for making a comeback in the match and changing the final result of the game. In the V skill, which can be performed by the pressing medium kick and medium punch together, and fighter performs unique actions like some performs a special movement while some are able to nullify the projectiles and attacks. In V reversal, the fighter performs a reversal move by pressing all three kick or punch button with the forward joystick, and depends upon the character what he or she will do. Apart from that, this time you can't lose a match from a chip damage, and special moves for each player. New critical art for each player is introduced this time. What I liked about the whole game is that the Street Fighter is this time seems polished in terms of gameplay. The moves are refined and pretty balanced for both amateurs and new players. Uh, the online network for the fighting is cross-platform this time, and in my viewpoint, this game is the best game to start this cross-platform multiplayer gaming. On the other hand, the game on the launch it doesn't have much to offer, and is very low on the content. And I was not able to properly play the game on the Windows 8.1. As I started the game, I experienced the game was running on very low FPS. I corrected it by removing the USB cable and had some trouble with the Windows driver. Uh, but still, it's I'm figuring out how to make the FPS normal on the Windows 8.1, while on Windows 10 the game works flawlessly. I'm still figuring out this one, and if I find a solution, I will post in the later videos. So my final verdict will be, if you are buying these games in India like for 3600, and internationally like 36 like $60. So at this price point, the game is a little expensive for the what is offering on the launch day. And if you are not a big fan of the game, you can wait, as this one is made to stand for many years to come. Thanks for watching the video.
those who I wish